We're live. I think we're live. Hi guys, welcome to Security Dog Handler Live episode 48 am I at now? You guys probably know better than I am, although I set it up. 48 I think it is. I don't know about this light. This light's a bit strong. I need sort of an in-between light. Saying a bit brighter than the last and before I changed the batteries, but not this bright. I hope you're good. I hope everyone is good. And what are we now? Monday night. Starting to it was a bit warm over the weekend, but it's definitely dropped a couple of degrees. Last night I started getting a bit hot. I had the fan heater going last night, and it got a little bit warm at times, but definitely not tonight. It's starting to get a bit colder. So yeah, welcome to episode 48 of Security Dog Handler Live. The chat box is there if you want to say hello, want to ask questions, give me a topic to talk about. Probably got a couple bits to talk about. As some of you might be aware, if you enjoy these lives and things like that, the live didn't happen last week. Porsche K9, evening mate, how you doing? Some of you might be aware that the live on Thursday didn't happen. That was due to me getting a change of site on a, do we call it an emergency? I suppose we do. We can call it an emergency. So basically Prestige got a phone call and said, look, we've had people walking on, showing some interest in site, etc, etc. Obviously I can't go into it too much, but we've had people walking on site. They've walked on site 3 times this week, having a look about, taking pictures, etc. We want to get some cover, and I got a phone call and said, look, we want to change you from your current site to this new site, which I was fine about. So I went and done that on the first night. Went there, found out about all the site, got signs out, etc. Was there for my 12-13 hour shift, etc. In the morning, reported that I hadn't really seen anything, nothing really had been going on. Dealt with whatever I needed to. There was people turning up 4 o'clock in the morning to start work that were maybe a little bit put out to me being there. So I tried to say hello to people, tried to introduce myself, and things like that. They did warn me that people were going to be turning up at that time, so I was aware that it was going to be happening. Michael, how you doing? They did warn me that people were going to be turning up around that sort of time. So as they were turning up, I tried to say hello, tried to be friendly at that. Some people didn't want to talk to me. Some people were quite chatty, and we had a bit of a chat, etc. But that's probably 4 o'clock in the morning for you. Some people want to talk, some people don't. And then I left after talking to the director there. The director thought I was actually going to be staying on all day as well, which I explained to him I wasn't. And then on the second night, they pulled the security dogs off of the site. So I'm now back on my normal site, but yeah, because of the change of site and different things like that, I just wanted to concentrate on doing that work, make sure I was getting it right, obviously showing off the best way that I can. But I'm back on my normal site now, back on this week, so yeah, back on with the live. So that's why there wasn't a live last Thursday. Like I say, change of site, change of threat level. I think that the change in threat level is key. That's why I feel pretty comfortable about doing the lives on this site, is because I kind of understand the threat level on this site, and it's set up to, not where I can't fail, but it's set up where the threat level is going to be very minimal, so I don't mind it. The site that I was going to, the people that they had walking on, the number of people that had walking on, the threat level was a lot higher, so I wouldn't have felt right about doing a live under them sort of threat levels, etc. But yeah, I'm back on my normal site now, so I thought we'll do a live and see how everyone was. For anyone that watched the video on Saturday, you would have seen that that was a live article search. So due to having Thursday off, unexpectedly, obviously got up Friday, had a chance to do some stuff on Friday, etc. Took the dogs to my mum and dad's, and I thought, you know what, for a bit of a change up, and maybe it is something that I can do in the future or can do a bit more of. I was going to do some article search training with Coop, so go out into the field, drop some articles and just do some article training with him. And I thought what I'll do is I'll just live stream it, so the people that come in on the live and watch it, they can watch it happen live. But then also what I can do is I can put it up for a Saturday video. And like I said, it's something that maybe I can do a bit more of, or certain bits I can do sort of live streams of some training, etc. And I think it just shows the level of the dog. It shows, without hiding behind editing, where we are with certain things. Obviously article search is low risk, etc, etc. So there's not much that can go wrong in terms of if you live stream protection work and the dog won't out, etc. That can obviously get you in a bit of hot water in that. So I thought I'd start with article search and just do like a live, and not say just go out with the dogs, put some articles out and then ask Coop to find them. In that, he was pretty good. He'd done more or less what I thought he would. It's the first time that I've done article search training with him whilst Ollie has been in the field as well. So Coop had other distractions. He had the distraction of obviously Ollie, as well as the distractions of other scents and different things like that. And he done as well as I thought he would. In terms of finding the articles, in that video I do talk about the corkscrew quite early on, about that being really difficult. So that worked out how I thought it would. What's this one out? No. So that worked out how I thought it would. But yeah, if you want to go and watch that live stream that went live Saturday of the article search, I think that is a good representation of where I am. Like I say, it's what is it, about 26 minutes of us doing article search training. And like I say, when you're covering 1.5, 2 acres, whatever it is, it's not a 5-minute job. It's going to take time to do that sort of stuff. And I think it is important on some stuff, if people are interested, it is important on some stuff to maybe do some live stream of training, so that you can show where you're at without editing. I think maybe a lot of stuff you see on YouTube, etc., you probably see, well, speaking from experience, of the maybe 10-minute videos that you see, maybe there's 20 minutes worth of footage, maybe some stuff gets cut out. I wouldn't say that I cut a lot out. I think I'm pretty honest on what I keep in, but I can imagine on sort of a lot of videos that I see, is I always wonder what them outtakes look like. I remember watching a video and it was someone talking about Cooper's protection skills, etc., and they sent me over to a video and said, like, this is what you should expect from your dog, etc. And okay, it depends on what you want from a dog. In terms of protection, yeah, the dog was really good, but in a 15-20 minute video or whatever it was, not once did you see the dog out off of a sleeve or a suit, etc. They would show you the dog hanging on to the suit or the sleeve and then swinging the dog by its back legs, and it still wouldn't let go, etc. But in that 15-20 minutes, not once did you see a dog out off the sleeve or suit. They always cut before the out and then moved on to the next clip of the dog doing some more protection work, etc. So I think that sometimes in putting up content, etc., maybe doing live streams, like I say, article search is pretty low risk. There's not much that's really going to go wrong. The only thing that could have gone wrong is that Coop could have bit my hand trying to get the ball. He will let me have the ball most of the time, but sometimes he will try and get it before I do. I've taken a couple of wraps across the knuckles before, but yeah, look, article search is quite low risk, but I can do other stuff as well. Obviously we can do some obedience. I think obedience, doing a live stream of obedience is pretty good at showing where you are, rather than cutting out some of the stuff that you don't want in there. I remember when I'd done the commands video. So if you go way back when I first started, when I first passed with Coop and I was doing it, we've been going to training for a good 6 months, and in terms of obedience training, in terms of his obedience at training, he was as good as the other dogs, if not better. He was definitely better with his downs and his weights or his stays. He's definitely better than other dogs with that sort of stuff. And I remember when I was filming that commands video, is that it's the first time I'd ever put him on a lead in the garden. And obviously in them, can't remember how it worked out. I think I was trying to do some of it without a lead, or I wanted to show the commands with a lead, and he was properly acting up because, like I say, first time I'd ever put him on the lead in the garden, he started really acting up, and I wanted to get the video done. And there's probably 5 minutes of me not sorting him out. I think that's that's a bad way of saying it, but there's a good 5 minutes that I cut out of that video where I told him that, look, this is not playtime, we're making a video, you're gonna have to do obedience here and now. And I think we've progressed on from that now, and I don't want that to come across the wrong way, but I think that I was trying to make a video about commands and he was properly acting up on the commands I was trying to do. And I knew from when we've been going to training, etc., and things like that, I knew he knew what we was meant to be doing, but he was properly acting up. And like I say, there's probably 5 minutes that I cut out of that where I had to get Coop out of play mode to, hold on, we're doing obedience, and he doesn't know we're making a video, but I'm trying to do this and make a decently half-looking professional video on sort of commands and that. And if I'm trying to do a commands video and the dog's not listening to the commands I'm doing, it's obviously not a great look. Now, like I say, when it comes to sort of protection stuff and a lot of the stuff that you see on online, etc., if you've got a dog that's doing protection work but you never see the dog out, or it cuts before the dog outs and it goes on to the next scene of the dog biting stuff, I always wonder what the next sort of 30-90 seconds looked after that cut. So I think that's something to obviously think about when you watch this sort of stuff as well, is if you're watching a 5-minute video, there's probably 15 minutes worth of footage and 10 minutes of that is lost for some reason or another. But yeah, but like I say, I can probably do some more live streaming of some training when I get more time, etc., or do some bits and pieces, or when the light returns. Obviously that's not going to be anytime soon, but when the days start getting a bit longer, etc., maybe we can do some live streaming of, like I say, some obedience stuff, some tug stuff, whether that's bite bar or bite cushion, etc. I can do that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, I'll say the chat box is there if anyone's got any comments on anything I just spoke about. I'm open. I'll openly talk about stuff. Like I say, when I was doing that commands video, and I think you have to be careful the way you sort of word stuff, and I think especially when I was getting into this. Now, everyone that's watched my videos from the start will understand that Cooper was a pet from 18 months, and then I spent a good 6 months doing lots of training to get him to where he was when he passed, and then I've continued doing lots of training to get to where he is now. And you can see in the video on Saturday as well, and if you compare that to, there is an article search video somewhere that I done at training, but I can't remember where that is, or whether it might even be on Patreon. There's a video of us doing article search at training, and the dog is focused on what we're doing. He knows that when we go to this certain area, we're going to be doing training, so we're going to be doing patrol, we're going to be doing probably protection, we're going to be doing article search stuff. And you can see the difference in the dog. Okay, one's on lead, one's off lead. I can appreciate that. Obviously off lead I have less control over him. But when you watch the one at training, you can see the dog is focused on knowing what he's doing, and like, we're doing this, etc. And although I've done article search training in the field before, you can see in that video with Ollie running around and different things like that, you can see that he is sort of distracted from doing the job 100%. I'd say that when I've done that live stream, Cooper was probably 75% interested. I'd say he understood what we was doing. He understood that we haven't done it there for a while, and he understands that the previous 200 times we've been to that area has all been about playing ball, going to the toilet, having a run around, releasing some energy, etc. And then all of a sudden I cut it, a bit like the commands video. Like I say, he had lived at that place for near on 2 years, and then after 2 years I say, right, no play, this is work. And he's like, hold on, we've not done this here, or I've not been put on the lead here. This is a place of fun, not where we put the lead on and do sort of stuff. And I think that's quite similar to Saturday's video when you watch him. 75% interested, he understands what he's meant to be doing. He gets distracted about Ollie running around. At one point he gets a bit distracted that he needs to go to the toilet, and he starts sniffing around in certain areas and that. And I think that that's important to understand, that the dog has to associate either what you're wearing. I think also what I was wearing wasn't ideal for making a video. Speaking with Terry when I first turned up, now obviously when I originally started going to training and that, I think my first session, I think it was about 30 degrees. I turned up in shorts and a t-shirt, and obviously I turned up and everyone else is in boots, trousers and work attire. And the reason that they was all in that, the reason that they was all in their kit is because Terry banned people from turning up in their non-work uniform, because Terry noticed a massive drop-off from good dogs that would do protection, do patrols, etc. He noticed a massive drop-off when handlers started turning up out of uniform and doing the same thing. Because speaking with Paul, and I can speak for this as well, is that Cooper knows when we're going out to either go for a walk or we're going to the field or whatever we're doing. He understands that by what I'm wearing, because he understands what my work clothes are and what that means. So when I put my work clothes on, we go out to the van and we go to work. When I put my normal clothes on, we go out to the van and we go to the field, or we go out the front door and we go for a walk around. And Terry noticed a massive drop off in dogs turning up to training with handlers that not in work uniform, because the dogs are I don't want to say not in work mode, but the dogs don't associate what their handler is wearing with the activity that they're meant to be doing. So when I turn up Friday to go and do the article search video or the live stream, when I'm standing there, okay, I have my work coat on, but I'm standing there in trackies and wellies, the dog doesn't associate trackies and wellies with doing article search work or doing protection work or doing patrol work, etc. So you have to also you have to make sure the dog associates what you're wearing or the place that you're doing. You have to understand that the dog has to associate that place with that activity, otherwise you're probably not going to get the most out of the dog. And that's why I say, although Cooper was reasonably decent at it, I'd say that he was probably only giving me about 75%, because it's not what he's been used to. But yeah, I am ready for another week. I think I've got, what's the date today? The 11th. So what have I got? I've got tonight, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think I've only got about 7 shifts left till Christmas, and we are done. 7 or 8, can't remember. Can't remember if I'm working that other night on or the Wednesday night or not. I think I finished on the Tuesday, so I think I've only got 7 shifts left until Christmas. So I am in very good spirits. But yeah, has anyone got anything that they want me to talk about? I will have something else. I did have something I was going to talk about just a second ago, and I've forgotten about it because I started going on the tangent with the video, etc. I need to contact a trainer and start working out what I'm going to do, because my team certificate NASDO runs out in January, so I need to, obviously with Terry retiring, I need to sort out this other trainer, or I need to get someone that can pass me for a NASDO. And as with everything, it obviously needs to be able to fit. I know I've had offers before to go and do training and go to other places to do training, etc., but it's never been feasible, or it's not really been possible. Lots of places are a few hours away. Obviously working five nights a week as well, it doesn't make it easy to be able to go around the place and do different training sessions, or go and see different trainers, etc. But obviously with Terry retiring, I've got to do something. So yeah, I think my team certificate on my NASDO runs out in January at some point. Can't remember when it is. So obviously I need to get that sorted out one way or the other. I think there are a couple of local trainers. There's obviously the guy that's taken on Terry's training. Speaking to someone last time, they said that he was doing some hair here somewhere. They said he was doing a training session on a Thursday, which doesn't work for me, unfortunately, because I'm finishing a shift at like 6 a.m. and I'm starting my next shift at 6 p.m. and going and doing 3-4 hours of training in the middle of that doesn't make it feasible to do. I mean, I can do it. I'm not saying that I couldn't do it, but I don't think that that's sensible to do when you're going on to another shift, because come 1 o'clock in the morning, 10 p.m, 1 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be absolutely knackered. Some handlers say that they can do it, whether they actually do or not, who knows. But so yeah, I need to try and figure something out. Try and find a trainer that trains on a Friday. They're obviously the best mornings for me. I think there is one between where I am here and where I live. I think that there is a place in the middle, which I'll more or less drive through on the way here. And if they do Friday sessions and they seem okay, maybe that's a possibility. The guy that's taken on Terry's training has changed location as well, so it's not going to be at the same ground as Terry was doing it. And it's a good 45 minutes past my house from here. So yeah, again, if I was finishing work at 6 a.m, it's 20 minutes to there, 45, so call that probably going to be an hour and 15 to get to training, 3 to 4 hours of training, 45 minutes back to an hour back. That's a big chunk. Probably not going to be getting to bed till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, let's say. Never going to be feasible to be able to get like 2-3 hours sleep and then go on to a 12-hour shift. So I'm hoping that maybe the one that's in between here. I think it's important also, when you go to a new trainer or whatever it is that you don't just look at it as what the training is that you're doing. You have to look at the trainer and definitely the people that are going to the training session. Make sure you get along with them. Make sure that the trainer, you obviously get along with the trainer, but also that you and the trainer, or you and the people that go to the training session, have relatively similar outlooks on what you want from a dog, or sort of the way in which security dog handlers should look on it. I think that's kind of important. That's kind of what I'll be looking at. Now obviously if I go to the bloke that's taken over Terry's, everyone's sort of going there, so I know that there's going to be similar people there. But if I change to another instructor, I'll definitely have to take into account making sure obviously I'll get along with them, make sure I'll get along with people that go to training sessions regularly, but also make sure that we have similar ideas and that they don't want more out of my dog than I want, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to work the dog. I'm the one that has to live with the dog. So yes, I know the dog should have a certain grade that he should be at in order to do the work, but it should be, that is not the minimum grade. I think that's maybe the wrong way of looking at it, but the trainers should look at it and say, right, that's the minimum you should be able to get at, that should be out of a dog in order to do this job. If the handler wants to take it any further than that, then they should. But for the people that don't want more than this, then we shouldn't push them to go and do more, because I'm pretty sure if I went to certain trainers, I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure if I went to certain trainers, they would look at my dog and say, I don't think he's tough enough, I don't think he's this, I don't think he's that. But then I'll go to lots of trainers and say, look, that's what you want, that's the kind of level that we're looking for, because we don't want an overly aggressive dog. We don't want a dog that's going to go over the top. We want a nice, well, not well mannered, that's what it is, level-headed, a nice level-headed dog that knows between good, bad, all that sort of stuff. Josh Green, evening mate, how are you doing? Hope you're good. Are you on shift? Have you got anything that you want me to talk about? Anything? I've spoken about Saturday's video, put my two pence in on that, a couple of other bits I spoke about, but is there anything that you have got going on? I did say that I was going to do a video on how much it costs to keep my dog in work for a year. Now obviously last week that changed, because again I went on to a different site with a different threat level, didn't feel comfortable filming a video whilst I was doing that, so that's why sort of the live stream thing happened on Friday. But I am going to be doing that video for this Saturday. It's been interesting because I've kind of put it out, I've kind of not surveyed, but I've kind of put it out to other handlers about some of the costs that they incur to obviously keep dogs working, so to try and get a comparison between a static guard and a static security dog handler. I think it's been very interesting. I think it's been interesting look, and it'd be interesting to see the comments. Now I actually think that there's not going to be many comments on it, because people are going to feel proven wrong, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to get that video recorded and edited for this Saturday. So this one will be how much it costs to keep my dog in security, so that then we can compare whether our wages are enough, or whether we should be earning a lot more money because we're working with dogs, etc. So that one will be coming. Josh Green, always on shift. You say always on shift, I'm pretty sure a couple of these ago you wasn't on shift, but yeah, always on shift. I had an interesting interaction last week, Thursday, Friday, I think it was, mate, or was it? No, it must have been Thursday or Friday. I had an interesting. So where I do is I'll go out, do a loop with Coop, and then I'll go out, do a loop with Ollie, so that they can go to the toilet and have a sniff about and get out of the flat for a little bit. And there's a guy with a German Shepherd. Whether I've spoken about this before or not, I don't know. There's a guy with a German Shepherd, and obviously I've got a German Shepherd, he's got a German Shepherd. I've lived there for 2.5 years, and he has blanked me every time. Every time I've seen him, every time we've crossed paths, he's always blanked me. And at the start, I always keep Coop on the lead, because I always feel like it's not worth the risk. Now, Coop off the lead, pretty good, okay. Sometimes won't recall if it's a ball or whatever. I kind of live on the opinion of a dog doesn't really need any more than a 10 meter retractable lead. For me, obviously, when I go to I'm a bit different because I can go to my mum and dad's and they've got a big field and I can run the dogs around there off lead and there's absolutely no problem. A horse trotted down the public footpath the other day, and although Ollie took a bit of notice, Coop didn't even blink an eyelid at it. The horse just trotted down. But I kind of I'm on the opinion that in a public place like a park, the public road or public greenery or whatever it is, I'm kind of on the opinion that no dog really needs more than 10 meters retractable lead. So I always keep Coop on a lead. Now, whether that's a 6 foot lead or whether that's a 10 meter retractable lead, he will always stay on that, because I'll try and tire him out by the length of walk rather than the activity. So you can obviously try and knacker out a dog by releasing energy over a short period, lots of running, chasing the ball, different things like that, or over a longevity of taking a dog for a decent walk for a decent amount of time. Now, every dog will have their limits. Ollie, as a small little cocker spaniel, will just go for days and days and days. You can take him, like the missus will take him on a 2-hour walk in the summer, and Ollie comes back and is still full of beans, ready to go. You take Coop on a 45-minute walk and he's ready to go to sleep afterwards. So obviously dogs have different levels. Now, like I say, I'm on the opinion of that if I take Coop out into a public place, whether that's a public park or a field or anywhere that there can be public around, Cooper doesn't need any more than a 10 meter retractable lead. Now, the other guy with the German Shepherd used to have his dog off lead and he would kind of run around, and then something happened because his dog started getting a bit reactive, and he would let his dog off around my dog and his dog would just potter around, etc. And I'll keep Coop on the lead, and in the park there's two paths that go either way and there's grass in the middle. I'd walk up the left, he would walk up the right, or if I walked up the right, he would walk up the left, and I was perfectly fine with that. And like I say, for 2.5 years he's blanked me every time he's seen me. Now, every now and then, because he only lives around the corner, every now and then we cross paths. And I remember went to walk down his road a little while ago, and as I went to walk down that road, he had the German Shepherd out and he was walking towards us, going to take his dog to the park, and his dog somersaulted off the lead when he saw us. So I done probably the honourable thing for him, not what I would want someone to do, but I think the right thing for him is that I just said to Coop back and we walked the long way round rather than walking past them. Now, I would say if that was my dog, I would say no, walk past me, because I want to sort him out, I want to stop him from doing this. But him and his missus seem to want to avoid us all the time, so I just, instead of making it worse and walking towards them, I just avoid them and that. And something's happened in sort of the last year or so, because he went from allowing his dog off the lead and letting it run around in a park full of dogs to every time that dog sees Cooper or Ollie, not just German Shepherds, Cooper or Ollie, it now wants to try and take a chunk out of my dog. So something's happened in there somewhere. But I was walking Ollie around a little green square that we've got, and I saw him walk past with the German Shepherd. Now he put a rain jacket on the German Shepherd, which says enough for me, but he walked around the square we was on and went towards his home. And I stayed with Ollie in the thing for about 5-10 minutes, and I was like, right, Ollie, let's go. And we started walking home. And like I say, it'd been 5-10 minutes, and I walked down his road because it's the shortest route back to where I live. And as I was walking down, I know what house his is, and just as I was walking past his house, I noticed the garage was open. And I'm walking with Ollie. Now, what Ollie has a tendency to do, which I'm getting better with him, is that when Ollie sees another dog, he will stand up on his back legs, and he'll not pull on the lead, but he'll use the lead as a bit of leverage to be able to stand up on his two legs. Now, for a dog that is reactive, the last thing that dog's probably going to want to see is a dog rearing up. Whether it's big or small, he probably doesn't want to see a dog rearing up. Now, I said to Ollie, leave it, because I noticed his dog staring my dog out, and he wasn't paying attention. So he had the garage door open and he was up looking around for something, and he wasn't paying attention of what was walking past his sort of house, etc. And as I was walking past, I just said to Ollie, leave it. And as I said that, his dog went to go for Ollie. Now, luckily, the guy, although he wasn't paying attention, managed to react quick enough. I was probably a good 10 metres away from him, so he had enough time to react. He managed to obviously stop the dog, and I just kept walking with Ollie. I'll say, come on, Else, let's go. And Ollie done really well. But what I did take from that is that obviously he's blanked me for 2.5 years. Obviously something has happened in the last sort of year and a half that has turned his dog from him being able to have the dog off lead around other dogs to every time he sees me and my dog, he has to dive for his dog. I remember walking round once, and I was walking 30-40 metres away, and I just out of the corner of my eye, I had Coop, and just out of the corner of my eye I saw he was walking his dog off lead on a bit of grass that was about 30-40 metres away, and as he clocked me, he run to the dog to get him on a lead. So obviously something has happened, but what did occur to me, and I think that this is one of the main things that you have, the main things you learn in security dog handling, is that get the dog safe first. So for me, whenever I go home, the first thing I do is I get the dog safe. So whether that's in the van or whether that's in the flat, make sure I get the dog safe. I don't dawdle, I don't think about other things, I don't stand and chat where I'm not paying attention whilst I've got the dog out, especially if the dog has got a reactivity issue. And I think that is something that you learn within security dog handling. And it happened on the site that I was working the other week, or last week. Obviously the first time I've turned up there, they've never seen security dogs before. People were going, oh, what dog you got? And they was getting excited because they'd never seen security dogs before. And a few people said, like, oh, can we see your dog and things like that. And the first woman that asked me if I can see the dog, I said, yeah, you can see him. I said, look, I'm going to keep him in the crate, but you can see him. I opened up the back door, she poked her head round, and she got the welcome that you would probably assume off of Coop. And after a good 10 seconds, I said, all right, that's good, shut the door. And then the director come over, introduced himself, and I said hello, and he asked about the dog, etc. And he said, oh, can I see the dog? And I was like, yeah. And I said, I'll tell you what, good training, go and open up the back of the van. He's in a crate. I said, go and open up the back of the van, and you can see him. And of course he's opened up the back of the van, Coop's gone full bells, etc. And then I've walked round after 10-20 seconds, I've shut the door. I said, right, that'll do. And that's good for two reasons. A, that the customer sees the dog and thinks, okay, we've got a dog that is intimidating, we've got a dog that can probably do the job. But also good training for Coop. I want to know, if someone goes and opens up the back of my van, I want to know that Coop is on it, because it's the first time we've been at that site as well, so I want to make sure Coop is on it. So when someone says, oh, can I look at your dog? Yeah, go and have a look. But I think that's the first thing you kind of learn in security dog handling, is that making sure the dog is safe is the number one thing. I think the first morning that I was there, I had people obviously turning up, etc. And then no one had turned up for a while, and I thought, right, coming up reasonably close to finishing time, I'm going to get Coop out so that he can go for a wee in the toilet before we go home, etc. And as I was getting him out, someone turned up in the car park, and I was like, that's fine. It's a big area, it's 50 metres by 30 metres. It's a big area, I can still get the dog out. As I was getting Coop out and I was going to take him for a toilet, the person started talking to me, and they basically asked, like, oh, have you had any issues or anything like that. And all I said to him was, no, everything was fine. And I carried on doing what I was doing. And as I was doing that, Coop was staring at him and growling. And I said to Coop, no, come on, let's go, keep walking. Because as a security dog handler, you understand that you concentrate on what is most important. Yes, okay, talking to a client and being nice to a client is important, but what you understand is that what I don't want to do is turn around, talk to the client, and as I do that, Coop then intimidates the client. So I understand that keeping the dog as least intimidating as I can around people that I don't want him to be aggressive towards, I concentrate on doing that. Yes, I answered him, but I sort of answered him as I was walking, concentrating on what I was doing, let Coop go and have a wee and do whatever, come back, secure Coop in the crate, then go in and talk to him and give him a little bit more of an in-depth of what happened in the night, etc., and things like that. And I think that that's what you learn. What I do see a lot with general members of the public that have dogs with reactive issues and different things like that is that what you'll normally see is there'll either be two ways. Is there'll either be hyper tense and sending that signal to the dog and being hyper tense and being scared of everything that's going on, or they'll just be thinking about other things. They'll be daydreaming over there. You'll be talking to someone and not concentrating on what's coming up from another direction, and then all of a sudden, especially if it's a big dog, all of a sudden the big dog sees what it wants and it goes, and the person's not concentrating, gets pulled over. My dad's been pulled over by a Cooper before, and I said this to my dad before. I said, look, if there's anyone throwing a ball with another dog around, do not take your eyes off what is going on. Concentrate on Coop, because he hasn't got a reactivity issue, but if someone throws a ball for a dog, he's going to chase it. And my dad's been pulled over a number of times. And again, with the guy that lives around the corner from me, when I was walking Ollie, his dog, because he wasn't paying attention, his dog has gone. And because he hadn't secured the dog in the house and concentrated on what he was doing, therefore he looked like a little bit of an idiot, because all of a sudden he had to put on the brakes and try and gain control of the dog again. But yeah, like I say, I think that I don't know whether any of that made any sense. I feel like I blabbed and went in and out of certain stuff, but I think that one of the things you do definitely understand in this job is that the security of the dog and concentrating on what's important at the time comes first. With members of the public, they prioritise what they want to do before prioritising what's important for their dog, especially if it has sort of issues. You were told by your trainer if someone wants to look at your dog, you go with them. Yeah, so when I say I spoke to the director and I said to him, yeah, go and open up the back of the van, what I mean is that I am standing 3 or 4 metres from the back doors. I'm not in the sight of Coop, but I can see what the guy's doing. And I said to him, look, he's in a crate, leave him there, open up the back door and you can see him. So yes, I understand what you're saying, is that I should be there just in case they decide to open up the cage door. That's not that. I understand what you mean by that, but I said to him, look, he's in a crate, keep him there, open up the back door, and then obviously you can see him, etc. And I'll say that's just some good training for Coop. But yeah, I wasn't off to go for a toilet. If ever I leave my van and I go into the building, or if ever I leave my van and I'll walk off and I'll walk away from it, I always lock it, and I'll leave the dog in the van locked. I never leave the dog. If I walk away from the van or I walk into the building, etc., I never leave the back doors open. I never leave it possible where someone can open up the crate door. I'll say I was 2-3 metres away from him on the blind side, so Coop couldn't see me, but I could see the back doors and obviously the guy. If he had put his hands towards the crate door, I would have stepped in and said, don't touch the crate, because obviously I've heard of people before trying to stick their fingers in the in the crate to tickle the dog on the nose, which is obviously one of the worst ideas you can have. But yeah, I understand what you mean. I wasn't in the building and sent him out on his own to go and do it. I was literally 2-3 meters away by the back doors on the blind side, so that obviously I could see what he was doing. Coop couldn't see me, but obviously I could see what he was doing, etc. So it was all safe. Like I say, the crate, my crate is safe. The doors are safe, and like I say, the guy understood the situation. He, funnily enough, now, don't know. The way he put it over to me is that he had worked with guard dogs before, but what he called them was yard dogs. Now, how long ago this was, I don't understand. I don't know. Yard dogs aren't a thing anymore because of sort of the Dangerous Dogs Act and different things like that. Yard dogs aren't really a thing anymore because even if you do have yard dogs and someone breaks in and gets attacked by the dog, you're going to be liable for it because the dogs are out of control. I remember someone asking me a little while ago about. I need to turn this down. Jeez. I remember someone asking me a little while ago about yard dogs and things like that, and I said to him, look, there's no such thing as yard dogs anymore, because let's say you've got a 20 metre by 20 metre compound and you've just got 2 dogs running loose there all night, and someone jumps over a fence. If they get attacked by the dogs are going to be out of control. They're not in control of any person. So whoever owns the dogs is going to be liable for any injuries, or worst case, going to be liable for any death that happens from them dogs attacking someone. And then someone said to me, well, what if you tie the dogs up so that they are under control, because they can only go a certain distance? So let's say you've got a 20 metre compound. What if you tie the dogs up so that they've only got 10 metres of lead? Therefore they are under control because they're on a lead, but there's just no one there. And I said, well, no, because the way in which the Dangerous Dogs Act words it is that the dogs have to be either under the control of the person who owns them or the person that's in charge of them at the time. So even if you secure the dogs to let's say the building and give them 10 meters, if someone walks on, the dogs are not in control of anyone if someone walks into them sort of 10 meters. So I don't know. He'd had yard dogs or been in control of yard dogs before. He started asking me about sort of certification, etc. So I think he's quite knowledgeable on sort of the certification and the training sort of side and different things like that. So I think it was a good look of obviously Cooper being reactive in the van, and obviously me showing hopefully some professionalism and being able to talk to him about certification and qualifications and different things like that, and being able to have that chat. He seemed pretty happy. Not happy enough to keep me on for a second night, but like I say, it wasn't because of me that he decided to do that. Again, going back to my wages video about our wages, what that ends up costing the client, I think that he just kind of realised how much it was going to cost to have me there consistently, and decided to go down a different route. So like I say, sometimes you don't lose work through the handler that's on site, or you don't lose work because of the professionalism of the handler. Sometimes it is just the realisation that they think, oh yeah, that's going to be a good idea, that we'll get a security dog handler on, the place will be really secure, etc. And then all of a sudden it's not what they kind of thought it was, and then they look at it and say, well, that's actually quite a lot of money for what it's going to be, etc. So yeah, I completely understand that you saying that I should go with him if he's going to open up the back of the van. Like I say, I was within 2 meters of him. It was a safe situation in order to do it, etc. I wasn't in the building and sent him out. If I ever walk away from my van, it's always locked so that no one can open up the crate for the dog. What are we coming up to? Coming up to 50 minutes. Coming up to 50 minutes. Has anyone got any questions or any last things they want to talk about? I feel like I've been talking for the whole 50 minutes, which is always good. Obviously, people coming in and helping out on subjects and different things like that. I feel like it's always good. If I've been talking constantly for 50 minutes, you're probably going to get at least 20 minutes worth of useful information and 30 minutes worth of blabber. So in that 50 minutes, I'm sure there's something in there that's going to help some people out. I always feel like sometimes, especially in sort of lives and different things like that, where you can't edit, going back to what I was talking about earlier, especially in lives where you can't edit what you say, sometimes you have to take a pinch of salt in some of the stuff that I say. And like I say, sometimes I say something and it's not till someone mentions it that it's brought to my attention that I've maybe worded it a bit differently to how it is. Hopefully by now a lot of you understand that one of my passions, let's go with passions. One of my passions is making sure that handlers are always acting as professional as they can, making sure that people keep their dogs as safe as they can, making sure that people are working in the right way as much as they can. And hopefully by now a lot of you will see, even by that last one, even if I say something that doesn't sound 100%, always know that one way or the other that the whole situation is under control and that I never put anyone at risk. Like I said with the guy that turned up early, I answered his question but concentrated on what I was doing with Coop, because the main thing is to make sure Coop doesn't intimidate a member of the staff, and also making sure that I'm concentrating on what I should be concentrating on, which is the dog and doing my job, rather than having a chit chat with someone that's turned up. Because in 5 minutes time, when I put the dog back in the van and lock the van, I can have a one-to-one conversation and I can have a proper conversation, and I haven't got to worry about someone walking up behind me and the dog turning around on them. I haven't got to worry about having a conversation and them going to stroke the dog and then Coop having to go at them. So yeah, I think always take sort of the side when I explain stuff. If it doesn't sound 100%, always understand that I'm normally over cautious than under cautious. So guys, that is 52 minutes and 42, 43, 44, 45 seconds. I hope you got something in this video that you liked. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below for loads more videos. I'm hopefully going to do another live on Thursday. Down in the description of this video is also my Patreon, where there's loads of other videos that are not on my YouTube channel. And yeah, hopefully you have a good week, and I will see you again on Thursday. Cheers for watching. Hope you all have a good night. Stay safe, keep your dog safe, and I'll see you on Thursday, hopefully. Cheers for watching. See you later. Bye.